Right. In the previous class, we started this new topic called VLAN, trunking protocol. What is this? It's a protocol that is used to manage the VLANs in a network. Like a centralized server client approach. A centralized server and client approach. We can have VLANs creation, deletion, and modification through VTP. I was telling you, only a server mode switch will allow you to create, delete, or modify VLANs. So what we can do is we can make one switch as a server switch and the other switches as client. When we do like that, it will be like a centralized server client model. Only that server switch, the VTP mode server. I told you VTP has got three modes: server mode, client mode, and the transparent mode. In high-end switches, there is also a VTP off mode. Server, client, transparent, and there is also off. I'll title it as VTP mode. Now this is not a Cisco standard, though it is in Cisco device, though this protocol is Cisco, it is not standardized. It's not in every Cisco device. Very high-end Cisco device. Rarely seen. But these three, common. In all Cisco switches, you will have this three mode. We are going to see in depth the difference between these three very soon. But quite few things I want to help you recollect what we discussed in the previous. This VTP helps to maintain VLAN consistency. Now, how the VLAN consistency is maintained? It propagates the VLANs automatically across the switches which are in same VTP domain. This is new. I did not tell this point. Yeah. You see, you may have 100 switches, but you may not be willing to have a consistent VLAN. You may not be willing to propagate all the VLANs to all 100 switches. You may be interested in distributing them or propagating them only to the first 50 switches. Like this. Let's say you have 1, 2, 50th switch, and then 51, 52, 100 switches. Now you want the first 50 switches to have same VLANs. VLAN 10, VLAN 20 in all 100 switches. Whereas in the other 50 switches, from 51 to 100, you don't want to have VLAN 10 and 20. You have different range, like VLAN 333, VLAN 222. So you have two different group, two different domain. Yeah, same VTP domain, meaning what? This first 50 switches in same VTP domain. These 50 are in another VTP domain. How the members of the domain identified? By a domain name. By giving same name as a domain name, they are very case sensitive. Remember, case sensitive. If you give domain name ABC here, in all these 50 switches, you will give ABC. And it is not like, one switch with capital letter, another switch with small. No, you should not do that. Same case. The domain name can be alphanumeric, no problem, but make sure you have the same case. Same spelling, same case. And now you can have this with the domain name 1ABC. See, this is different. Okay, why always ABC? 1JKL, 1JKL, 1JKL. The domain name matters here. The name only helps to group. VTP will check the name. The switch is sending with the VTP domain name ABC. This will receive it only if the domain name of the incoming VTP packet and the local domain name matches. You see, whatever I create here goes to all this 50, but not to the 51. Whatever I create here, it goes to all this 51 to 100 switches, but not to this 50th switch. It won't come. Domain name is different. So the propagation happens automatically across the switches that are part of same VTP domain. Yeah. So we don't need to manually go to every switch, configure VLANs. This is automatically propagating. And if you don't like the propagation, then put it in different domain name. It won't go there. Now, let's say I have one switch here in the middle. Which is in the guest area, let's say, guest area. And in that switch, I don't want VLAN 10, 20, all those VLANs to go. I don't want VLAN 10 and 20 go there. Why? VLAN 20 and 10 belong to employees. And this is in the cafeteria where guests also come. So I don't want the members of this switch to go inside the employees layer 2 domain. What we can do is we can put this in a different domain. These are all in the ABC domain. I can put this one in KLM domain, By doing so, the propagation will not get installed here. The propagation that is coming, KLM will not receive it. If it didn't do, if it didn't receive, how it will give to the other guy? Not possible. So you cannot do this. You cannot have different domain switch in the middle. Why? The propagation won't happen. I repeat, I have 50 switch, but 43rd switch, I don't want any VLANs getting installed automatically. I don't want automatic, no, for many reasons. I don't want. One reason I already told you. This is a switch where the guest accesses our free network. I don't want guests to log into our employees' VLANs like 10 and 20. How can we achieve this? You cannot put that particular switch in different domain. You should not. If you put, what happens is what I just explained. If you put domain KLM, the VTP update that is coming will not be taken in, because the VTP update is coming from ABC domain, whereas this switch is in KLM domain. 43rd switch won't accept it. As a result, this 45, 44, 46, 40, they don't receive those VLAN updates. So what is the solution for that? Solution is, you still keep it in same domain, but configure it as a transparent mode. Transparent mode. So the more transparent can do this for you. Even though ABC is the domain name, the transparent switch will not install the VLANs that comes through VTP update. So this VLAN 10 and 20 will be this VLAN 10 and 20 informations. They come as a VTP update. Transparent switch will receive it and just forward it. It won't synchronize. It won't install those VLANs. It will simply forward the VTP update. In another word, if I need to say, transparent mode do not participate in VTP domains VLAN configuration update. So it belongs to the domain, but it won't participate in the VLAN configuration update. Any questions on any question? Do anyone have got any confusion in transparent mode? Please ask. Okay, no questions. VTP transparent mode do not participate in VTP domains VLAN configuration updates. But what it can do is it can forward the VTP advertisements, meaning without learning or applying the VLAN information locally, it won't learn or install the VLAN information locally. It will simply forward it to the other switches. See, that solves the problem. I create VLAN 10 and 20 here. It is reflecting on the 50th switch. but not on 43. Even though 43 is there in the middle, it is transparent. Now, did you understand the meaning transparent? It is transparent. It is not opaque. It is transparent. Transparent. Once, I was in a place called Istanbul. It was a new training center called Academic Tech. That's the first time I was there in Istanbul. And I was teaching some security program on 4th floor. In the break, I came down to meet my friend in 2nd floor. This is my friend sitting here in his seat. And this is me. I came, because it's a short break, I came fast and I banged on the door here. You know why? It is a transparent glass door. I couldn't even see there is a glass in between me and my friend. I banged. It is transparent. It's not a mirror to reflect my face. If there is a mirror, I would have not banged. You understand? Transparent means these VLANs reflects here, but not here. How meaningful name they have given, you see. These VLANs reflect here, but not here. Transparent mode. However, if you want to create VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 here, you can do so. You can manually create it. And this VLANs that you create are local. They do not get propagated to other switches. You see, even though these are all of same domain, when I create VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30, VLAN 40, it is local. They are locally saved. They will not be given to other switches. They are locally saved. Ten, 20, 30, 40, locally saved. Now, when I delete this VLAN 10, if there's a server switch, I can delete, right? When I delete, it gets deleted on all 50 switch except this 43rd switch, because this is not getting any updates. They don't learn any updates from the message, the VTP message that has been advertised. When you do some deletion of VLAN and update goes, this will simply forward the update. It will not synchronize its local database. It won't. It will not synchronize its own database. It will simply forward. So, what did you understand from transparent mode? The switch that is of transparent mode do not participate in VTP, VLAN configuration, VTP domain VLAN configuration update. They simply forward the VTP advertisements to all other switches without locally synchronizing its own database. Transparent switch allows you to create VLANs, delete VLANs, modify VLANs, but they are local. They are not propagated to other switch. right? So now when will you use transparent switch? Or when will you configure a switch to be a transparent mode? Whenever you want a switch to have a locally managed VLAN database. You neither want to disturb others nor want to get disturbed. Then you need a transparent mode. I repeat, if you want a switch not to be disturbed by VTP update, also not to advertise any VLAN information to others. See, I created this 30 and 40. It's not impacting others. 10 and 20, 30 and 40. It is not affecting other switches. When I deleted VLAN 10, it is not deleting here. It deletes on all switches except the transparent switch. That's transparent mode. So you may have a question in the interview like this. Transparent mode, in what scenario, in what circumstances, in what scenario we can configure a switch to be a transparent switch? Answer is, when you have a switch in the middle, like this 43rd switch, it is in between 42 and 44. When you have a switch in the middle which you do not want the VLAN database to get updated by the VTP updates, nor send any VTP updates, then you need to configure transparent switch, transparent mode, VTP mode, transparent. About the client, I already told you, but I want to repeat again. We understand now transparent mode. Now, what is client mode? Client mode is the one which do not allow you to create, modify, or delete VLANs. This client mode switches can only receive, let's say this guy is a server mode. This is a client switch. And the other switch is another server. And this is again client. Now when I create here VLAN 777, client will receive it, apply it to the local database, and not only that, it will forward it. It will forward it to the other switches. Client relies on server to send the VLAN info. Why? Because you cannot create, no creation, no deletion, no modification of VLANs. But still you get that VLAN 777. How? It was given by this server as an update to this client synchronized and then forwarded, this server updated, other gave, and then this updated. Let's say you got another client. This client will forward it and this client will receive the update. Client can receive update from another client, no problem. A server can also receive an update from a client, no problem. It's not like, only a server can give. A client can also give. But client cannot generate an update because clients are not allowed to create or delete or modify VLAN. So can this client, can it generate a fresh update? No. Whatever the server gives. The client synchronizes and then forwards so that other switches will also get synchronized. So what you can do is in a VTP domain, you can have one switch as a server and make all other switches a client. If necessary, you can make two switches as a server if it is needed. It is good to have one server mode switch, so that in only that switch you will be creating or deleting or modifying. As you do that, the advertisements will go to the other switches and automatically propagates and updates the other switch. The other switches are not vulnerable because they are in client mode. Now, what is the default mode, you know? By default, all switches will be in server mode. That's the default mode. VTP mode by default is server mode. Client mode, you can configure. To be on a safer side, try to limit the server and have all the switches of as client except one. And when do you use transparent switch? When you want a switch to forward the VTP message without synchronizing its own local database, nor send any fresh update from local, you can configure transparent mode. Did you understand what is VTP? Why VTP? What are these modes? Thank you. Any question? Has anyone got any question? Off mode, again, the VTP mode off, it will disable the VTP protocol on the switch. This switch will not participate in any VTP communications. Where do we use this off mode? Whenever you don't want the unwanted VLAN information to get propagated within the network. This is as equal as canceling VTP on the middle switch. If you make this as off mode, that's all. Nothing is given to the downstream. These switches will not receive updates because 43rd has said full stop to the VTP. 43rd switch says no VTP messages or updates are allowed to pass through. Off mode is like disabling VTP in the middle. If you disable in the middle, what will happen? Propagation stops. So that is the scenario where you can do off mode. You see, these switches are in ABC domain. These are also in ABC domain, but the propagation is not sent to all 50. The propagation of VLAN stops on 43rd switch. Again, propagation of 44th switch goes up to 50, but it won't come to 42 or 41 because this one is off. It totally isolates these two, even though they belong to same domain. These 50 switches belong to same domain. There's a total isolation. Even this ABC is also same domain, but you have offed it. You have put it as off. Even though the domain name is ABC on 43, Because the mode is said off. Maybe for troubleshooting, you want to do this. You want to off it and see. For some reason, you want to off the VTP. You don't want the VTP updates to go to 44th and 45th and 50 switches. So you have offed the VTP on 43rd switch for some troubleshooting reason. Right? So that is off mode. Again, it is not on every switch, it is only on some modern Cisco switches. You have this off air called off mode, which disables the VTP protocol itself on the switch. No communication, no VTP communication is allowed to pass through it. Transparent allows to pass through the update, but off mode, no passing through, nothing. Protocol itself down. Any other question? Now, there is one more thing we need to learn before we get into this lab. That is called VTP revision number. So these switches are in ABC domain. Now, these links are trunk links. Two conditions for VTP to work. You need to have the same domain name on all the switches, and you must have trunk between the switches. If you have these things, you can ready to test. You can get ready to test VTP. Now let's say before creating any VLAN, I type this command show VTP status. Remember this command. Show VTP status. When I will see the domain name. I will also see something called a revision number. What is the default mode? What is the default VTP mode? Server. All these things you can see when you type this command show VTP status. You see the domain name you created, you see the mode, and you see a revision number as 0. And you will see this on all the switches. Because in all the switches you configured same domain name. So the revision number will be 0 with this domain name on all switches. And also at the bottom, if you see, you will find something called MD5, message digest algorithm, MD5. And you will see some alphanumeric hash values. These values, no, some values you will see. Some alphanumeric values, hash values, hash of MD5 algorithm. This will also be identical. This will also be identical. It will also be same on all the switches. You see, this is how we troubleshoot VTP. If you see this value same on all the switches, then configuration is correct. If 4 switches have got same, but the other switch is not having same message digest value, then you have some trouble on that one switch. Maybe here you type ABC, but on that one switch you might have typed ABC, this ABC, lowercase. This is not this, according to message digest. This value is generated based on what you configure and the revision number. If all the switches have got same domain name and same revision number, then message digest will also be same. This message digest is auto-generated. We always troubleshoot VTP problems using this message digest only. Okay, now, what is this revision number? That revision number says how many times the VLAN database is modified. See, VLANs are not saved in the running configuration or in the startup configuration. VLANs are saved in flash memory. VLANs are saved in a file called vlan.dat in the flash memory. It's in the flash memory. VLANs are not saved in startup or running config. That file, no, vlan.dat. What? VLAN dot. I would like to show you that. Show flash. Right now there is no vlan.dat because we did not create any VLAN. Now you see VLAN 10. I created. Where will it be there? Can you see in show running? VLAN 10, show me. Do anyone see VLAN 10 created? No, there is no VLAN 10. Why? They are not saved to running config or startup. They are saved in flash. Now you see a file called vlan.dat got created automatically in flash. Now, whenever this flash vlan.dat file gets disturbed, when will this get disturbed? When you delete a VLAN, when you rename a VLAN, when you create a VLAN. Every time you disturb, the revision number will increment to 1. For example, I created VLAN 10 here. The revision number will become 1. And VTP update will go. What is the revision number here? 0. Now, when the update comes with the revision number 1, switch 2 says, I'm outdated, so I'm going to copy whatever is coming. It is going to copy all the VLANs that comes as an update and changes the revision number to 1. So VLAN 10 it creates and increments. Again, when the update goes, because the revision number is lower than the incoming, it learns whatever comes in and changes the revision number, copies the revision number that is coming. Again, I have a lower revision number, which means I'm outdated. The incoming has the revision number 1. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy whatever comes in the update. And then copy even the revision number. What is the revision number that was coming in? It was 1. So I copied it. Again, an update comes with revision number 1, which is higher than what I have. So I copy the revision number. I also copy the VLAN info. Now see the interesting story comes. If I delete VLAN 10 here, an update with the revision number 2 will go, isn't it? I just told you every time you disturb the database, it will increase the revision number. I deleted only no. Why should it increment? It's a disturbance. That's a disturbance. The revision number will not get decremented, no way. Repeating again, whether you create or delete or modify, it's a disturbance caused to the database. Whenever you do some changes to the database, even it can be a deletion of VLAN, it will only increment the revision number, it won't decrement. The revision number என்னைக்கும் கீழே போகாது. நீங்க VLAN வேணா குறைச்சிட்டே வரலாம் ஒன்னொன்னா delete பண்ணிக்கிட்டு. நீங்க VLAN குறைக்கிறதுனால revision number குறையும்னு நினைக்காதீங்க. See, I removed that one single VLAN that I had. But the revision number that goes is 2. Because it is coming with 2, it will delete whatever the database it has got and copy the database that is coming. What is coming? Nothing, empty. Revision number will change with empty database. Because the update was not having any VLANs. The update that is coming is not having any VLANs. So it will simply copy the update with revision number. VLAN database is empty, but that's a disturbance cost. And the revision number is higher. The revision number higher, காலி டப்பா வந்தா கூட அதை காப்பி பண்ணி இருக்கிறது எல்லாத்தையும் அழைச்சிடும். காலி டப்பா VLAN இல்ல அதுல. Right? It just copies that empty update by erasing the VLAN. You see, when you create or delete or modify VLAN, it is going to increment the revision number. Only based on the revision number, the switches will decide whether to update or not to update. For example, I have a switch with VLAN 10, 20, 30, same domain name. I connect a wire now, but the revision number is 1. What is the revision number? 1. I connect a wire which is already trunked configured. See, you can create all this VLAN in one line. Then only one time database is disturbed and the revision number is only 1. நான் 3 VLAN கிரியேட் பண்ணேன். எப்படிங்க நியாயமா ஒரே ஒரு ரிவிஷன் நம்பர் எப்படிங்க இருக்கும்லாம் கேட்காதீங்க. நான் அதுக்கு பதில் இப்பதான் சொன்னேன். ஒரு வரியிலே 100 VLAN கூட கிரியேட் பண்ணலாம். கமா 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 போட்டு. ஒரு முறை தான் டிஸ்டர்ப் ஆகுது டேட்டாபேஸ். ஒரே வரியில நீங்க கிரியேட் பண்ணும்போது. So revision number is only 1. When you connect this wire, what will happen, you know? Because this guy has got higher revision number, it won't take the update. The VTP that is going from here with the higher revision number will go and delete everything because here nothing is there going. Kali dabba is going and it will make this dabba also Kali. And the revision number will be 2. You understand? Revision number matters. It is the revision number that makes the other switch to decide whether to copy or ignore. When an update comes with higher revision number, I copy. If it is lower revision number, I ignore. Did you understand the part of revision number, the role of revision number? Now I'm going to quickly show you But we will have a long demo in another class. But now I'm going to quickly show you a quick demo. House name. First of all, I don't want to use the switch because the switch is already modified. I want you to have a fresh knowledge. So I delete. I take a fresh switch. You see, this is how we create. You configure VTP. How? First, you need trunk port. Done. Next, what you need is domain name. VTP domain ABC. See, before configuring domain, I want to show you the output. I did not configure domain. Show VTP status. You see, the default mode is server mode. And the version that is currently running is 1. 1 is a very bad version. I don't want to have 1. Let me change to version 2. VTP version 2. Okay, this simple it is. Commands are very simple. Now let us say show VTP status. You see, I have enabled VTP running version is 2. And you see the revision number. Right now it is 1. Show flash. See, because the database is already there, it says 1. Otherwise, it will say 0. Database is already there. Show VLAN brief. When I say VTP version 2, the database got created. Show VTP status. See, we did not create any VLAN. We have only default. But the database is created, so you have one. And you see the domain name is not there. Let us now, see, this is the message digest I was talking to you. They should be same if all are in sync, if all the switches are in sync. Now I'm going to give a domain name, VTP domain ABC. See, the VTP domain is changed from null to ABC. Next, I'll go to the second switch, configure same. Sorry, I'll go to the third switch. I'll come back to the second switch later. Host name switch 3. Interface range F01-2. Switch port mode trunk. Next is VTP version is 2. VTP domain is ABC. Done. Now I also want to go to switch 4. I'll come to switch 2 later. Hostname switch 4. Interface range F01-2. Switch port mode trunk. VTP version 2. VTP domain ABC. And now switch 5. I expect VTP domain to be already here, you see. Show VTP status. Okay, it is not there. Sometime it will come and update the immediate switch, which is not good. Okay. It is good to do manually. Interface F0/1 switch port mode. Always try to give mode manually. Sorry, domain name manually. Next, VTP version 2. Hostname switch 5. And then VTP domain ABC. Now, listen carefully. Switch 2, sometime it may have domain name already. Host name switch 2. Show VTP status. You see, domain name I did not configure. It has come automatically. For the very next switch it will give, but it is recommended to give manually. Even trunk is auto negotiated. I'm not going to do any configuration here. All right. Version is negotiated. Name has come. Everything has come. I did not configure anything on this switch 2. You know this. I typed something, so it went to some domain lookup, and then we are here. We see already domain name is there. But the revision number is 0 because so far no VLANs created. Now let us go to switch 1 and configure some VLAN. You see, VLAN 100. Check the status, show VTP status. Look at this. The number of existing VLAN is 6. How? Show VLAN brief. By default, you will have these 4 VLANs plus 1, which is 5 VLANs will be there by default. Currently, we created this, so totally 6 VLANs. And the database is disturbed 1, so revision number is 1. Let's go to the second switch. Look at this. It was 5 and 0, but now it is 6 and 1, which means the VLAN 100 is already here. Let's check. Show VLAN brief. You see, VLAN 100 is already there. Now let's go to switch 3. Show VLAN brief. You will see the VLAN 100. Now I want to show you something more. Show VTP status. This message digest, you see, A1, B3. It will be same on every switch. Go to switch 4. Show VTP status. A1, B3, which means you don't need to check VLAN, it will be there. It will be there. Let's go to the 5th switch. Show VTP status. Exactly the same, which means VLAN will also be there. Yeah, right. I'll